Hey guys, welcome back to Puff It Louder, and welcome back to Charade Maniacs with me, Puff, and Iochi on Iochi's route. Last episode, I started to think that Senna might be an Arcadian because, there's honestly 4 reasons as to why I think Senna might be an Arcadian. First of all, she kind of has a lack of personality. She can't make decisions. Second of all, her mom hasn't really been around, so we're just like, is her mom a sponsor? Like, what's going on there? Third of all, she witnessed Akase's siblings pass away, like die and stuff like that, and I feel like it's just a little too convenient that she was like, oh, I just so happened to see the Otherworld stream, and they just happened to die on that stream. Like, it just seems way too convenient for that to have happened. And then fourth of all, she seems to have, like, she has blips in her memory, but then she also happens to remember certain things that she shouldn't remember. Like, in Iochi's route earlier, she remembered things about the Morpheus Project that she honestly shouldn't know, since her mom has confirmed to not be part of the Information Bureau, and she herself is only around 17 years old. So, I am starting to suspect that Senna, our little MC here, might be AI or an amoeba or something of that sort. So I'm doing a little boopity boop boop conspiracy theory over here. Me, Puff, the director, producer of Charade Maniacs playthrough. Whatever. We're just gonna get right into it. Iochi's at the door, so we should greet them and see what they want. Oh, hold on a sec. I stood up and took a deep breath before unlocking the door. Even after hesitating, there are things I have to choose on my own. Iochi's right. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are we gonna go research something?
今日は調査じゃなくて息抜きを。いいところを教えてもらったんだ。一緒に行かない？
What nice place?
そう。赤瀬くんに聞いたんだ。
Oh, I decided to follow Iochi. I never knew about this place deep within the warehouse. It feels so nice.
だろ？いい場所だよね。時間を忘れるよ。時計はもともとないけどさ。
We slowly walked around the meadow. There was a gentle breeze blowing, and it felt like it would go on forever. The blue sky stretched as far as the eye could see, and I couldn't believe it was all a projected image. But this is all fake, right?
そうだね。僕は割り切って考えてしまうけど、偽物でも気分がいいならそれでいいよ。
You're right. It does feel nice. I noticed the flowers by my feet and hesitated to crouch down and touch them.
綺麗だね。それだけあれば花束でも花冠でも作れそうだ。
Yeah. I touched a petal and plucked it. It was fake, so there was no need for guilt. It was perfect for a bouquet or wreath. I picked flowers while thinking of the past. Then I wove the stems together into a circle. Iochi sat down next to me and watched me work.
なるほど。そうやって作るんだ。
Have you never made one before? Iochi just laughed and answered no to my question. Iochi continued on about learning from me, and I wondered if that was even possible. I tied down the last bit and completed the wreath of wildflowers. I put it on Iochi's head.
ありがとう。僕にくれるんだね。君じゃなく。
Iochi, you're beautiful, so I thought it would match you much better. You look wonderful in that.
綺麗か。嬉しいけど、どうせならかっこいいって言ってほしいな。
What does that mean? Is this related to their gender? I murmured to myself, unable to ask, and Iochi just laughed.
もちろん、綺麗も嬉しいけどね。
Which is it? Silencing my internal screams, I decided to change the subject. I haven't seen flower beds around recently. They don't allow you to pick flowers at the park.
そうだね。君はどこで花冠を作ったの？
I often go out with my family. The countryside is still full of prairies. I'd make wreaths for my younger sister while my younger brother caught bugs. He was so naughty.
なるほど。じゃあこれは妹さんのために磨いた技術か。
I wouldn't go so far as calling it a skill.
十分な技術だよ。これだけ綺麗なものを作れるんだから、きっと妹さんも喜んだろうね。
Yeah, but she ends up getting all rowdy and often breaks them.
いいね。仲のいい兄弟がいるのは。
Are you an only child, Iochi?
いや、兄が一人いるよ。昔は仲が良かったね。今は会うこともないけれど。
That's kind of cool. Seeing my troubled nod, Iochi kept talking without turning my way.
仲良かったんだけどね。久々に会ったらとんでもない人間になっていて。びっくりだよね。
Oh no.
だから今は喧嘩中ってところで。
Oh no. I hope you can make up.
うん、そうだね。
There was no hesitation in that response. Thanks to that, I felt at ease. That was the best answer. The wind blew between Iochi and me, and it fluttered our hair and the petals on the wreath. Iochi looked beautiful, but there was a sensation of ice in that glare. I had no idea what they were thinking, but I had my own thoughts about it. Wait, so if they're in the middle of a feud, I suspect that Iochi's older brother might be involved in this somehow. Like, I bet you that they might be a sponsor or maybe possibly support the Otherworld stream in a way. Yeah, I'm hesitating on whether or not I should continue being this close with Iochi. Iochi smiled at me wholeheartedly. That invaded my heart and touched me. But accepting everything and allowing them to continue guiding me at their whim would end in me becoming much more than just an assistant. At least to me, that is. The closer I got to Iochi, the less I'd hesitate. I knew that deep down, yet here I am. I never even considered quitting as their assistant. After looking at the flowers once more, I turned back to Iochi, and our eyes met.
何?
Iochi, why are you so kind to me?
手元に置いておかないと心配だからかな。君は危なっかしいところがあるからね。
They punctuated their words with a smile. In a way, I expected that answer, but it wasn't anything more than that. So that's all. I still don't exactly know what kind of answer I desired as I felt my heart tighten up.
構わない方がいい。僕は迷惑だったかな。
No, that's... I felt that pain again. Suddenly the gap between us closed, so it made sense that I felt so much hesitation. But when I considered that we wouldn't be together anymore, I found myself shaking my head. That's not it. Oh! Picture get... I looked down and Iochi moved in to bump our foreheads together. Even though the flowers weren't real, I thought I smelled their fragrance.
誰かを切り捨てられない。一人になれない。
Picture get?
大切なものがたくさんある。
I wondered what that meant. Some time passed. Iochi's beautiful face was so close to mine that I had trouble breathing, but Iochi still continued to smile at me.
寂しがり屋。かわいそうだね。
Huh? That gaze pierced through me, and I finally understood what they were talking about. I'm the one feeling lonely? I couldn't sacrifice anyone and couldn't be alone because there were too many things I cherished. A lot of that made sense to me. But then, what about Iochi? Before I realized it, I was staring right back, so Iochi opened their lips to exhale a bit. Oh. Then they stood up and moved away from me while pulling off that wreath. I thought I was going to be kissed. I felt so embarrassed for thinking that. I could feel my ears burning as I stood up.
帰ろうか。いい気分転換になったね。
I think what Iochi said is right. It's just... Sona is the type of person where she's such a fence sitter that she literally can't give something up, and she refuses to take something away either, so she just sits there and does nothing. And doing nothing is still, like, even though you think that you're not making a choice, that's still a choice. If you choose to do nothing, that's still a choice. And, like, even though people are like, oh, but I'm doing nothing, like, you're still actively making a choice to do nothing. So, in the end, like, it still affects people's view of you and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, in the end, she is alone because of the choice that she's making to not take action, I suppose. I think is what Iochi's trying to say. It's rough. Rough times. And of course Senna's like, oh, I thought I was going to be smorched. Oh my god. It sure was. I made doubly sure I didn't sound disappointed. I prayed for that in my mind while following Iochi. The next day, Iochi was busy, so I stayed in my own room and cleaned it. Oh. I don't know why it looks like there's like a line missing for some reason. To the living room, and I saw Haiji there reading another book. I think it meant to say like, oh, I headed to the living room or something. What are you reading this time?
日本地図
A map? No picture book this time?
図書館にあったから。でも文字が小さくて見にくい。
Reading small words on print is hard. We talked about things like where my home and school were as we looked through a book of maps. Haiji, where's your school? What was your school called again?
宇都第一小学校はここ。
Oh, it's pretty close to where my home is. Then we could meet pretty easily when we get back.
うん。
Haiji then closed the book and stood up from the sofa.
別の本借りに行ってくる。
At the library? See you later.
うん。行ってきます。
Maybe I should go out too. There are things I can research even when I'm alone. That's right, the map. I should go check out the locations we haven't filled out yet. Iochi was checking previous episodes in the library. I'm sure there are places that haven't been visited. Did Haiji seem upset that she'd said that they could meet up? I don't know. He was just like, oh, yeah. Like, it just seemed kind of weird. I had to find more detailed and useful information. That's the information gathering team's job, so why am I doing it? I thought about it, and then I thought about Iochi's face. Iochi does research even when they're alone, and I'm supposed to be their assistant. I want to be more useful. I want to be praised. I felt happy when Iochi complimented me, like I was finally getting close to the person I respected. I was told not to care so much and said no when I was asked if I was being bothered. But that was because I respected Iochi. Respect. Or perhaps I'm attracted to them. Honestly, I didn't really care about Iochi's gender before. But now, I'm extra curious. Is it because Iochi pointed out that I'm lonely? Oh boy. And now we're in a freaking alleyway. I walked into a deserted alleyway and studied the building and how many Arcadians were around. The doors of most buildings didn't open, but sometimes I'd discover the home of some Arcadians. I wonder if they sleep here at night. I never gave it too much thought, so I decided to look into it further out of interest. While I was doing that, I heard someone speak. That voice. It sounded familiar. It was a voice I'd heard often. I walked towards the voice. It came from inside a building. I couldn't see where they were. I put my ear against the wall to hear things better. Is Iochi talking to someone? I can't make out the other person's voice. Maybe Iochi's talking to someone on a receiver? But that would mean it's another cast member.
その話か。別に問題はないだろう。利用できるのは何でも利用するよ。
Oh boy.
ここに遊びに来たわけじゃないんだからな。
Not here to play games? With a more serious tone, the conversation continued.
とりあえず、例のサーバーからアクセスすることを考えよう。まあ、向こうも我々の動きに気づいてはいるだろうが。シャットダウンされる前に先手を打つ。見込みはともかく、やるしかない。日取りは、後で決めて知らせる。
Oh boy. Oh. The conversation was coming to a close, so I left the scene without making a sound. Oh boy. Then I walked around the area, so it looked like I had been taking a stroll and just stopped randomly. That was Iochi's voice. There's no way I'd mistake it for someone else. We talked so much up until then. There was no way it wasn't Iochi. What were they talking into? And who were they talking to? I figured that they were definitely teaming up with someone else to put some plan into action. Something that I didn't know about. Huh? Am I really their assistant? I realized that I assumed that I was the one closest to Iochi. However, based on that conversation, it clearly wasn't the case. Whoever Iochi was talking to was even closer, and maybe they were the real assistant. Maybe Iochi had a partner to help them. And Iochi has been hiding these plans from me. They'd never discussed any plans with me. I tried to remember everything I'd done with Iochi, and I realized I knew nothing about this. What are they hiding? All I could say was that I didn't know. I returned to the lodging and saw Chigasaki in the living room. I thought no one was there, so I was a bit flustered as I said hi to him. Oh, Chigasaki, welcome back.
お帰りなさい。
Chigasaki looked a bit surprised, but he smiled back at me. He tapped his bangle to turn off the TV. Were you watching TV? That's unusual.
ええ、ちょっと暇つぶしというか。でも、実は、セナさんを待っていたんです。
Oh God. Me?
いや、そう大事な話でもないんですが、でも伝えておかないと。
Oh God. Despite him saying that he was waiting for me, I wondered why he seemed so reluctant to speak. I sat next to him, and as I wondered what it could be, and then Chigasaki opened up to me.
セナさんは、イオチさんの作業の手伝いをしているって言っていましたよね。
Oh God. I didn't want to talk about that at the time, however, I had to agree. Yes, I am, somewhat.
最近いつも一緒にいるし、知らせておきたいのですが。
Okay. Now what?
図書館で見たバックナンバーの中に、イオチという名前のキャストがいました。
Oh boy. Okay. So there's another cast member. Cast member is named Iochi. Huh?
あまり見る名字ではないので。
So it must be Iochi's brother then.
イオチさんはそのことについて何か言っていましたか？
Right? It must be Iochi's brother or Iochi's relative, right? No.
そうですか。
Hisato.
その方はイオチ・ヒサトという名前でした。僕の見た限り20代の男性に見えて。
A man in his 20s? Okay. Man in his 20s.
髪は短いですが、綺麗な顔つきの方でした。背丈は僕より少し低いくらいで、似ているといえば似ていました。
Oh gosh. He and Iochi look alike?
そうです。
I was at a loss for words. What did it mean for a previous cast member to have the same last name as them? They're already dead though, right? If they were a previous cast member.
それはそうだとは思うんですが、言いにくいんですが、もう一つ事実があって。
Oh God.
エンドロールまで確認すると、
Oh God.
そのドラマのスポンサーが誰か必ず載っているんですが、 その回のスポンサーは
Oh
伊
god.
内久人さんでした。
Oh, so a sponsor. So that's the reason why this must be the older brother. Like there's no freaking way.
一応バングルからも見られるんですが、見てみますか？ じゃあメッセージでどのドラマか送っておきます。バックナンバーを見ればわかることですし。
But then why would their older brother join the stream and then sponsor it and then like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like why would they? Huh. I nodded slowly while thinking things through. There was a male sponsor who was part of the cast who shares Iochi's last name. Wait, hold on. A similar face to Iochi's in his 20s?
そうです。何か心当たりが？
いや、兄が一人いるよ。昔は仲が良かったね。今は会うこともないけれど。
Iochi mentioned having an older brother.
そうですか。
An older brother that they don't see anymore. This had to be him. Shigesaki looked a little worried as I ran through the possibilities in my head.
スポンサーの家族は同じようにスポンサーになることが多いそうです。おそらく影響を受けてのことでしょうけど。それにこれはお兄さんがいると聞く前に僕が事前に考えていたことですが。
Oh no. Shigesaki seemed reluctant to speak again.
実は罰ゲームには手や足を失うだけではなく記憶や性別を失うものがあるのだそうです。
Oh, so Shigesaki thinks it's Iochi.
だからもしスポンサーだということで伊内久人さんがデッドエンドにならずに性別だけ失って生き残って
Oh god, hold on, I need to take notes.
性別を取り戻すために戻ってきたとしたら、そのために名前だけ変えていたとしたら。
That is crazy.
もしくはこの方がプロデューサーで名前や姿を変えながら僕たちを監視しているという可能性もあるかもしれないと。憶測だらけですね。自分でも分かってはいるのですが。それでも伊内さんには気をつけた方がいいと思いま
The
す。
feeding us the doubt. Shigesaki sounded apologetic. Is it a crime to stop thinking? I thought about things like eavesdropping on Iochi and what Shigesaki had warned me about. I had all the facts before me. However, I still didn't know if I should just accept them or keep thinking about things. I'd given up on thinking. That was practically what I was doing. I knew that I had to face the music, but I couldn't help but lie to myself. My time relaxing in the meadow with Iochi was fun. We didn't really talk about anything important or do anything special. I remembered Iochi's smile at the flower wreath, and what was said for the first time there, the voice that was whispered so close to me. Only the good things left a strong impression, and I was filled with a sense of happiness. Maybe this is what it feels like when you talk to a senior classman you respect. Yeah, that's what this feels like. I thought that it'd be like that back home, if only we were back there. I got dressed despite not having a good balance. I'd probably taken too long of a bath. I kept thinking things over, and I didn't plan on coming to any conclusions. What's wrong with being happy? I made up excuses for myself. There are too many things to think about, like who's actually who, and who is lying. I unlocked the dressing room door and opened it. And we're gonna stop here. Oh my god, this is a fucking disaster. This is so bad. Like, okay. This is my current thought process right now. I think that Shigesaki is looking out for Senna. I think that he's looking out for us because Iochi, I don't genuinely think that Iochi is lying when they say that they have an older brother. I think that Iochi, like, it is weird that Iochi's gender is messed up. Like, it is, like, there is such thing as, like, intersex and stuff like that, but it is clear that, like, I think Iochi's gender has not always been intersex, because, like, Iochi themselves kind of hints at that, I believe. Like, they've made multiple mistakes where I think that they've hinted that their gender is not supposed to be this way throughout the route, but that is besides the point. I think that Iochi themselves has admitted, like, yeah, like, they have his older brother, blah, 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 and I think that the fact that they had that icy glare says a lot. I think that if they were lying about that, then they would be a very good liar, and I don't think that that is true. I think that everything that we've seen about Iochi so far, I believe that they are telling the truth about having a sibling. So, I think that the person that Shigasaki saw in the drama is Iochi's older brother. I think that Iochi, I don't really know what's going on with that call that Iochi was on. I think from Akase's route, I suspect, because I have all of these notes. We know for a fact that Iochi works in information processing. I suspect that Iochi works with Akase, so I suspect that, and we know that Akase works in the Information Bureau, so I suspect that Iochi is also working in the Information Bureau. So, currently, I think that Iochi on the phone is talking to Akase and talking Information Bureau stuff. So, I'm not super worried yet. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not freaking out yet. I think that I think if you played it out of order, like if you played Iochi first before Akase, then it would be more scary because you'd be like, oh my god, what's happening? But because we played Akase first, I'm a little less worried because we're like, oh, we know kind of like that Akase and Iochi have this like sort of relationship. Because we saw Iochi in Akase's route at the Information Bureau, so we're like, oh, what are you doing here, kind of thing. So that's where my suspicion is right now, currently. I'm super curious to know what's going on in the drama that Iochi's brother is in. I want to know why Iochi's brother, like, was not only a sponsor but also in the drama at the same time. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But I guess we'll find out next episode. Actually, next episode we're gonna see who's in the bathroom with Senna, so yeah, I guess we'll see who's in the bathroom. Woo!